Joining me now from Houston, Texas is Carl Larry. He is a market specialist with the analytical firm Refinitiv. So Carl, what is your read on these developments here Thursday, especially the timing with Japan's Abe visiting Iran at the moment? One of those oil tankers was Japanese.
Yes, I think the key word here, Elaine, is development. Every minute, every hour, we're seeing something new develop around it. With the Secretary of State now calling out Iran, it becomes very tenuous right now. So what goes forward, what happens next is really anybody's idea, but it is a very tense moment right now.
Do these potential tanker attacks mean right now to the global markets, the oil markets, oil supplies? We noticed that prices did jump on news of what this development happened here on Thursday.
Well, it's balancing act here. We had an OPEC report come out just today talking about how demand was lower, but you have to realize that 1/5 of the world's oil supply comes through that area that was attacked, that Strait of Hormuz. And so any kind of disruption to any kind of pathway there is going to have a major impact on prices, a very strong and solid impact.
Yet another suspicious incident in the region. Our correspondent mentioned a couple others earlier this month. What happens, especially if we continue to see conflict in the region? We heard the UN Secretary General calling for calm, other countries also calling for calm. What is the worst case scenario?
The worst case scenario, even in a best case scenario of the worst case, if we have military envoys out there escorting ships back and forth, it'll slow down the traffic significantly. And from that point of view, we're probably looking at maybe $70, $80 in oil if the region gets shut down completely, because tankers, people who own ships, people who own tankers are not going to want to send ships over there without any risk like that. So a complete shutdown, we're looking at upwards of 100. Again, nothing's for sure, but we can see these things starting to develop as they keep going forward.
And what reaction are you seeing? What will you be watching for in the coming hours and the coming days related to this incident?
Well, what we're really watching for is who's going to take blame and who's going to do something about this blame. So, it's not unlike the trade wars we've seen, right? One barb gets thrown, the other one barb gets thrown back. So right now we were seeing up to 4 to 5 incidents happening in the area. Somebody has to take the blame. So if there's no blame taken and these things escalate, then obviously this is going to go higher much faster. If people start negotiating and start seeing these things pull back, then maybe we could see these a little bit of an ease. But right now, I think the risk is definitely to the upside.
And what is the one big thing that you're concerned about?
Well, I think we're really concerned about what happens to Iran and the negotiations that we're dealing with them right now. If we cut off the world supply from Iran, that's talking about 4 to 5 million barrels a day of oil and products. And that's nothing that we can really afford to lose. But if you talk about the bigger picture and we can't have any ships coming through there, again, 20% of the world's oil supply coming through there, that would be tremendous and a very big impact to the not just to the world oil supply, but to the economies around the world also.
All right, Carl Larry in Houston, Texas. Thank you so much for joining us.